Hey friends, my name is E and you're watching MakesItEasy, and welcome back to a new video for A-level mathematics. Today we have 4.4 for expressions relating to the roots of a polynomial for the rules and examples video. And we'll get started with 4.4 for the rules of reciprocals and products of powers. But before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And we'll get started with the rules for reciprocals and the product of powers. So from the past few lessons, we can see that we have different expressions for finding the values of expressions relating to the roots of polynomials. And those are the rules of reciprocals and the rules of product of powers. And these two basically build onto what we've seen in the past few lessons. So for the rules of reciprocals, we know that quadratic is like 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta equals alpha plus beta over alpha beta. And we can see that as we go from quadratic to cubic, there's one more root, because in the quadratic there's only 2 maximum roots, in the cubic there are 3 roots, and in the quartic there are 4 roots. So we can basically just, this expression is equal to this expression, because what we do is that we have to combine those 2 individual fractions, and to do that we have to make the base, or the denominator, the same. So we times this by beta, and we times this by alpha, and that's why you get this. And for the cubic one, we have to times each term by the 2 other roots. So what it means is that we have to make the denominator alpha, beta, gamma. So to times this, we have to do times this by beta, gamma. So it will be beta, gamma over alpha, beta, gamma. And this will times it by alpha, gamma. So plus alpha, gamma over alpha, beta, gamma. And this we have to multiply it by alpha and beta to get alpha, beta over alpha, beta, gamma. And add them up to get this expression. And this is the same as the quartic equation, or the quartic expression. So the way we can simplify this, or like write it in a more easier way, is we can do the sum of alpha over alpha beta. And this can be written as the sum of alpha beta over alpha beta gamma. And for the quartic one, we can write it as the sum of alpha beta gamma, alpha beta gamma over alpha beta gamma delta, like so. And for the rules of product of powers, we can see that it's basically quite simple, where we have the roots to the power of n times the other roots to the power of n. So it's basically we just combine the roots and just pull the power out. Because this is basically the rules of indices, where we have, let's say if we have a to the power of n times b to the power of n, it's equal to ab to the power of n. It's the same principle, like so. Then we have the rules for sums of squares and cubes. So here we have the rules for sums of squares. So note, if you learn these, you can use them without proof in your exam. So when we have a quadratic, there will be some questions that ask you to find, like find what alpha squared plus beta squared is. And we can't find it straight away because there's no formula for alpha squared plus beta squared. So what we do is that we have to split this into quadratic, because we know that alpha squared plus beta squared equals alpha plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta. And we know that this expression is basically equal to minus b over a, and this is equal to c over a. So the way that we derive this is that we have to first consider the power of the roots. So in this case, they are power of 2, right? So we can just consider alpha plus beta. We can basically consider alpha plus beta squared, right? So we just expand it normally. Expanding it, we get as alpha squared plus 2 alpha beta plus beta squared, right? And since we have to find the original expression of alpha squared plus beta squared, and it's present in this, what we do is that we just rearrange it to get the subject by taking away 2 alpha beta from both sides to get alpha squared plus beta squared equals alpha plus beta squared minus 2 alpha beta. That's what we have here. And this is basically the same with the other cubic and quartic, where we have the sum of the squares of the roots is equal to alpha plus beta gamma, or plus delta squared, minus the sum of squares. So basically the sum of squares is this one right here. The sum of root squared minus 2 times the sum of product pairs is equal to the sum of squares. Or as we see here, the sum of squares is equal to the sum of alpha, the whole thing squared, minus 2 times the sum of alpha beta, or the product pairs, and the sum of roots. And for the sums of cubes, it's a little more complicated. And note that the result for the sum of cubes for a quartic equation is not required because it'll be way too complicated and it's not in our spec or specification. So quadratic, for a quadratic root, like the root, alpha cube plus beta cube is equal to alpha plus beta cube minus 3 times alpha beta times alpha plus beta. And this is the same as cubic, where we have alpha cube plus beta cube plus gamma cube equals alpha plus beta plus gamma cube minus 3 times alpha plus beta plus gamma times alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha plus 3 times alpha beta gamma. So this looks really complicated, so we can basically just memorize or like shorten this by having a generalized formula. So basically the sum of cubes is equal to the sum of roots minus 3 times the sum of roots times the sum of product pairs plus 3 times the product of roots. And the reason why we don't have this part right here in the quadratic part is because the sum of the product of roots is basically, it involves 3 roots, right? And quadratic only has 2 roots. So the maximum is alpha beta, i.e. the sum of product pairs, like so. And moving on, lastly, we have some questions for the roots of a polynomial expression example. So the 3 roots of a cubic equation are alpha, beta, and gamma. Given that alpha, beta, gamma equals 4, alpha, beta plus beta, gamma plus gamma alpha equals minus 5. Or we can rewrite it as a sum of alpha, beta. And alpha plus beta plus gamma equals 3. Find the values of alpha plus 3 times beta plus 3 times gamma plus 3. So there's no simple way of doing this, but we just have to expand this whole thing right here. So expanding it, let's just do it right now. So alpha plus 3 times beta plus 3 plus times gamma plus 3. So this will be equal to, let's expand the first 2 brackets first. So it'll be alpha beta plus 3 alpha plus 3 beta plus 9, like so, times by gamma plus 3. So this gets us alpha beta gamma and plus 3 alpha beta. Then the second one, this times this, so it would be 3 plus 3 alpha gamma plus 9 alpha plus, moving on to the next one, this times this and this also. It will be 3 beta gamma plus 9 beta, and move on to the next one. It will be plus 9 gamma plus 27. Oops, plus 27. And therefore this gets, let's rearrange it first. It will be alpha, beta, gamma, and let's group this as well because this is a sum of the 3 roots, or the product of roots, the 3 roots, plus 3 times the sum of product pairs. It will be alpha beta plus alpha gamma plus beta gamma, right? Because those are the only product pairs, like 1, 2, 3. And we already counted this in this case right here. And the rest is just the sum of roots and 27. So let's just do the sum of roots first. It'll be plus 9 times alpha plus beta plus gamma and plus 27 at the end. So alpha, beta, gamma, as you see for the question, is 4. So it will be 4 plus 3 times alpha, beta plus alpha, gamma plus beta, gamma is equal to minus 5. So times minus 5. Oops. Times minus 5 plus 9 times the sum of roots, which is 3, plus 27. And this gets us 4 minus 15 plus 27 and plus 27. And this simplifies because we know that 27 plus 27 is 54 plus 4 minus 15, and that gets us 43. And that's the final answer. And that's it for this video for 4.4 for the expressions relating to the roots of polynomial for the rules and examples questions. And I hope you'll find it useful and helpful, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and ring on the notification button below so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you have any questions or any comments regarding my channel or my YouTube or my Instagram, you can leave them down below and I'll reply to them. And check out my social media in the description, for example YouTube or LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you need any learning resources or any teaching resources, you can check out my website in the description, or you can type it in your browser at www.MakesItEasy.com. And I hope you'll find it useful and helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video which will be 4.4 for the expressions relating to the roots of a polynomial for the questions video, which will be fun and interesting as it builds onto this knowledge. But anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe and happy learning.